All right. As many of you have probably realized by now, the world has been pushed, however willingly, into a revolution. This movement goes by many names: green, clean tech, new energy, alternative energy, and the preferred term, alternative energy. No matter the name, the basic idea of the revolution is simple. Use renewable energy sources to power the many machines necessary for modern human life instead of the quickly depleting sources of fossil fuels. Thank you. This renewable energy movement has its vague roots in ancient Greek and Roman culture, where they intuitively used the sun's energy to heat their homes. Since then, renewable energy has evolved, obviously, to include complex methods of utilizing solar, wind, thermal, nuclear, chemical, and other sources of energy. In the past decade, the renewable energy revolution has taken center stage in both science and politics as not only a response to climate change, but also as a method of solving the energy crisis and as a source of economic growth. It is pretty obvious to the average citizen that the revolution is already here and in full swing. California requires that 33% of electricity retail sales be from renewable energy sources by 2020, and $16.8 billion of the U.S. Department of Energy's Recovery Act of 2009 was awarded to the Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy for its programs and initiatives. Contrary to popular belief, renewable energy itself is not the answer to the energy crisis. Though the push for renewable energy is quite strong, there is one major obstacle that must be overcome. Many renewable energy sources are intermittent and consumer demand is periodic. There must be a way to balance supply and demand. The sun and the wind are too erratic to supply more than 20% of a region's total energy capacity. In order to make renewable energy more practical, it must be coupled with a type of energy storage. This way, if the sun is shining and the wind is blowing when consumer demand is low, the excess electricity can be stored for when the consumer demand is high, but the sun isn't shining and the wind isn't blowing. California will need 3 to 4 gigawatts of energy storage by 2020 in order to meet the projected increase in renewable energy. The main types of energy storage include pumped hydro, compressed air, advanced batteries, thermal, and flywheels. One storage method cannot be used as an overall solution to be implemented worldwide near every single renewable energy power plant. Each method has distinct advantages and disadvantages, as well as geographic and monetary requirements. Of all the energy storage methods, compressed air energy storage and pumped hydro energy storage are the two that have the ability to be operated at a utility scale while still being economically viable. These systems have already been implemented in the U.S., though only to a limited extent and not necessarily for pairing with renewable energy. So first we have compressed air energy storage. This type of energy storage was first given serious consideration in the 1960s when combustion turbine engines had advanced enough to be able to make the system physically possible. However, currently there are only 2 existing operating systems in the entire world, one in Huntorf, Germany, built in '78, and one in McIntosh, Alabama, built in '91. Recently, CASE technology has enjoyed increased attention as high energy demands and energy mandates from states have forced energy providers to invest in energy storage. So a conventional CASE system uses the excess energy from a renewable energy source in order to power turbines to compress air into a natural underground cavern or a porous rock formation. And then once the electricity grid needs energy, then the air is allowed to expand and power gas turbines, combustion turbines, in order to create electricity. This obviously has some advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are that it's the most economically feasible because you are already utilizing a natural underground geologic formation. Some disadvantages include that you have to use a little bit of natural gas to heat the air because compressed air heats up as it is compressed, but then it cools down as it expands, so it must be heated up in order to power the combustion turbines. And another disadvantage is that you are compressing air at a very high pressure, and there are societal worries of explosions. So next we have pumped hydro energy storage. It's called FES. Currently, FES systems are the most widely implemented. It accounts for more than 99% of energy storage capacity worldwide. There are 150 pumped hydro facilities in the United States. However, only 2.5% of the country's electrical generating capacity can be stored in these facilities. Similar to CASE systems, FES systems store energy or electricity as potential mechanical energy. Essentially, a FES system is a hydroelectric dam that can operate in reverse at off-peak, low consumer demand hours when the renewable energy production is high. The energy is used to power a turbine to move water from a low elevation to a high elevation, and that's the potential energy that is being stored. And then when energy is needed for the electricity grid, then the water is allowed to flow downstream and power turbines to produce electricity. The advantages of this is that it's much more energy efficient than CASE systems, but disadvantages are that there's environmental concerns over flooding valleys or creating artificial reservoirs, and then altering those ecosystems continually by lowering the water level and raising the water level. So in the end, the title of my talk may have misled you. This wasn't really a talk about why not renew, as in, here are all the wonderful reasons why we should use renewable energy to save the world. It's more why not renew, as in why we cannot utilize renewable energy to its fullest extent because of the lack of energy storage systems. The world has the ability, the technology, the capability to build these systems and integrate them into the electricity grid. But it's not common enough yet to have energy storage and renewable energy be considered a necessary pairing. Energy storage systems must be integrated into the electricity grid for renewable energy to truly take its place as the primary source of the world's energy. Energy storage is necessary to balance supply and demand. There's no other way to harmonize nature and human need with respect to energy use. In the end, all it really comes down to is how willing humans are to put in the time and the effort, the money, the research, the politics to ensure that renewable energy's significant other, energy storage, takes its rightful place as an important factor when solving the world's energy needs. So basically, why not renew? It's because the world's not ready yet. We need a broader vision in order to truly revolutionize the world's energy production. Thank you.